Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. I also had a conversation with our dear brother. So I'll start with the conversation that I had with him after he had sent me his confession. He said, "Brother Nashi, another thing that I forgot to tell you, like that South African woman that I told you who stole all of my items, that woman, I bewitched her. When I returned back home, I was so much heartbroken thinking about all the items that I had lost. Like, she took everything. I had a lot of things that I had that she stole from me. And when she sold my car, she really broke my heart. And when I returned back home, that was when I went to Chipinge, even though I am someone that used to go to church. At that time, this was before I had even thought about becoming a ritualist. I went to Chipinge. I wanted her to run mad. Unfortunately, like, I don't know if she did it go back to sender. I don't know if South Africans do go back to senders. But what happened, what even surprised the traditional healer, was that when we did these rituals in order for her to start running mad because she had stolen my property and sold my car after I had been deported from her country, and then I was told to buy a doll, you know, those normal Barbie dolls, and I went with it back to the traditional healer, and the traditional healer told me that I was supposed to dress it up as if it was a mad woman. And then we went and we left it in the cave, and I had written her name on a piece of paper and her surname, and we left it in a cave there in Chipinge. But she never went mad. And when I started to ask some people who knew her that I was still in communication with, they told me that one of her cousin sister was the one who was running mad. She was hit by this other car. No one knows who hit her because she used to travel along the highway. So there was someone who just hit her and then ran away. She passed away. So I don't know if it was God who saved her from becoming mad, or if she knew and then she did a go back to sender to me. So this was before I had became a ritualist. When I went to South Africa to look for work, me and my wife, we loved each other, and my wife would pray for me when I was in South Africa. I arrived in South Africa, and indeed God blessed me, and then I got a job. I started working, and I was working as a driver. And you know, money, sometimes it can confuse you as a man. The moment that I started to earn more than I used to when I arrived in South Africa, that was when I started to see that women were interested in me, and I was also interested in them. I started to compare my wife that I had left back home with some of the women that now seemed to be so interested in me because I was having a very good job. That was when I proposed love to this woman who stole my car and sold it when I was deported. We started staying together. She told me that she loved me with all of her heart. I will do whatever that she wanted me to do. And then we started to buy a lot of property because I thought that I was going to stay here in South Africa and have a family with her. So after we had bought some property and a car, that was when, unfortunately, because of my status, I was not legal in South Africa. So there are those people that just print out those fake asylum papers. They would lie to you that they work at Home Affairs. So I gave them a lot of money, and then they gave me some fake documents, and they never told me that it is a type of a document that you are never supposed to show to the police. So one day, with full confidence, as I was driving, I was stopped by the police. They asked for my passport, and I thought that I was legal in this country. And then that was when I took out that fake document, and then they locked me up. So I did not get the chance to go back and to take some money that I had, that I was saving, and I was arrested. And after I had served my prison term, that was when I was deported. So when I got deported, like I was supposed to be taken straight to Harare, but then that was when they asked me if I wanted to be dropped off at a police station in Beitbridge. Then I decided that it was far much better for me to be dropped off at the police station in Beitbridge. So I went there, I stayed until I was released. After I had been released, I then went to this other friend of mine who was also staying in Beitbridge, who helped me. I was embarrassed to return back to Harare, thinking about my wife, the way that I had mistreated her. I had mistreated my wife too badly because I told her that I did not love her anymore, and I was now dating a South African woman who was better looking than she was, and I did something that was cruel. I even sent her a picture and I said, you can compare your behind with this woman's behind. Do you look the same? So stop bothering me. Like I was making money, because at the company where I was working as a driver, we used to make some deals behind our boss's back. He did not know that this was what we were doing. So with all of that money, this woman, like, she pretended as if she loved me with all of her heart. I really do not know. Maybe she loved me. Then after I got deported, that was when she came back to her senses. But life used to be nice. Whenever I was on top of her, she would be like, just give me a child, just give me a child, put a child in my womb. So when a woman who is very beautiful tells you to put a child in her womb, it can confuse you as a man. You will stop thinking, because all of us, we want to have kids. We want to have kids with the most beautiful women that we can ever sleep with. And whenever she would say that, looking at me when I was on top of her, I would forget about who I was, why I had came to South Africa. So I was ashamed of myself because of the things that I used to tell my wife. I even told my wife's little sister when she started to ask me, saying, why are you doing this to my sister? And I will be like, you know what, your sister, she is someone that has no respect, and she is just a door. Behind her, she does not have a shape. A door is a woman that does not have a big booty. So I would say that to her little sister whenever she would ask me why I was mistreating a sister, and I would say it is far much better to be mistreated by a woman with a big behind. You know that you are suffering for something, not to suffer for a woman who does not even have any curves. Like in that moment, I was no longer thinking for myself. I really do not know what was going on with me. So whenever I would speak with their relatives, I would say things that were quite evil. That is why I was embarrassed to return back to Harare. I then returned back to South Africa. I worked and I worked until I returned back home when I saw that life was not moving. And this was after I had returned back and I saw that this woman, she was no longer staying in the place where we used to stay. She had ran away with my car, stolen everything that belonged to me. And when I tried to fight, that was when I got arrested again. I got deported and I was returned back home straight to Harare this time around. So one of my sister felt sorry for me because of my situation. She then gave me some money. Then I started selling some bananas, some tomatoes in the street. So while I was doing this business, that was when I became friends with this other woman. She was also a street vendor. So me and this woman, we started dating, and then she told me that she had heard about this other traditional healer in Mozambique. This traditional healer, she said that this healer can assist you if you want to make money by selling. This traditional healer can assist you. And then she wanted to go to Mozambique, but she did not know how to do it, and she was scared to go there alone. That was when I said, it is okay, we can go together. So as lovers, me and her, we then went to Mozambique together. When we went to Mozambique, then that was when we were given some charms, and after we had been given those charms, we returned back to Zim, and we started selling as we used to, and we were making money. In time, me and this woman, we returned back to Mozambique again. When we returned back to Mozambique, that was when I was told that I was supposed to ask for forgiveness from my wife, to tell her that I still wanted her back, because we were supposed to use our children in rituals, but we were supposed to get back with our partners. Like this woman that I was dating, she also had broken up with her husband, and I had also broken up with my wife. So then I spoke with my wife, and I told my wife that I wanted her back, and my wife, she agreed. I begged for her forgiveness, and I also went to the pastors and I spoke with the pastors about this issue, and I asked them for forgiveness. And my wife, they encouraged her to get back with me. They said that this was the doctrine of the church, and me and her, we then got back with each other again. And after we had started staying together, that was when we lost our child, which I used in a ritual, and my wife does not know that I used our child in a ritual. So the woman that I was dating as well, she then spoke with her husband. So her husband was staying in South Africa. He was also staying with another woman, but this woman is from Zim. They were staying together. Then she started to speak with her ex-husband, and she told him that she wanted him back in her life. And when he saw that now she had money, that was when he agreed to return back. So they are staying together. They also lost their child, and I also lost my child as well. So our partners, they do not know that we had to do this in order for us to keep on making money. So the traditional healer, he was not open enough with us. He did not tell us that we were never supposed to sleep with each other again. So then the traditional healer told me that I was supposed to return back to Mozambique. So I then returned back to Mozambique, and he told me that I had messed up in my rituals. I said, what do you mean when you say that I have messed up in my rituals? That was when he told me that I was never supposed to sleep with that woman ever again in my life. I was only supposed to sleep with my wife. I really did not know what to do, but this man, he told me that he had a plan for me, and I was supposed to start sleeping with dogs if I still wanted to live, and if I still wanted to continue making money, I had to sleep with dogs. So I returned back to Zim, and then that was when I bought some dogs. So amongst my dogs, there is one that knows the moment that if I start to touch her tail, she knows that it is time for me to sleep with her. Those are the rituals that I have to constantly do each and every time in order for me to keep on making money. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. Hey, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother right there. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us try to talk about this issue in the comment section.